Welcome everyone to Planetary Workshop, Future of Intelligence Part 4, Developing Intuition. We're really happy to see you here today. Hope you guys are all having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is for you. And we'll give everybody a second to log in. All right, so today we, for our workshop schedule, we've got a few minutes of a welcome. Then we will have chanting, which is going to be our Bhavanam Kevalam, followed by guided meditation. We'll have a presentation with an interview. We will do breakout rooms, some Q&A, and then we want you to hold on because we have some exciting announcement for PLT for 2022, and then we'll follow with a closing. So please, it's going to be a jam-packed hour and a half. So I'm really looking forward to this workshop. If Dada can push the page over one more slide. All right, so before we do get started, we do have an interpretation for Vietnamese with Sabode, and we're very welcome. We're very excited to introduce Maha Joy today. She'll be translating in Spanish. So if you need either one, please connect with them. And we want to start, as we do all our live presentations, we want you to know that PLT is an inclusive community. We're a global community. We welcome people from all over the world, from all walks of life, and everyone's in different paths of their meditation. So we want everyone to feel welcome, especially when we go into the breakout rooms and things like that. So we like to start with this quote from Sri Sri Anandamurti. It is our duty to accelerate the speed of human progress. Your endless efforts to broaden and smoothen the path of human movement will render our present existence and your future history inestimable. So just something to think about. And I'm going to just really excited to see all of you. If you would like to turn on your cameras, we'd love to see your faces and enjoy this workshop. And we'll start with our Kiirtan, our chanting meditation, followed by our guided meditation, and then we'll start with our presentation. So welcome, everyone.
Greetings, welcome, and I'm going to play a little Bhavanam Kevalam Kiirtan. So this mantra, most of you know, means only the feeling of limitless love. I'm going to sing this for a few minutes, and then we're going to have very short little chanting, and then silent meditation for 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll go into the workshop. So just start off by sitting straight. Close your eyes. And remember, the idea behind the mantra is that we're connecting to the source of limitless love within ourselves. Just remember to sit straight with your eyes closed. Breathe through your nose and let the mantra Bhavanam Kevalam continue in your mind. Feel that you're connecting to the source of limitless love within yourself. So you can just open your eyes. And welcome everybody. Oh, Tanmaya, welcome. This is your first time here, I think, from Rajasthan. That's great. And a few others I haven't seen before. Wonderful. So in the next 10 minutes, I need to convey the essence of what we've covered in 4.5 hours in the previous 3 workshops. So let's see if I can do that. Bear with me. And at the same time, I need to try and keep it slow enough for the translation. So this is going to be tricky. Let's see what I can do. Just give me a moment. All right. So I'm just going to share my screen and give you this, run you through this summary of the first 3 parts of the future of intelligence. Okay. And one thing I'm going to do is at least make that small. Oh, here we go. That's better. So you might remember, well, let's first look at, why is this not working? Oh, okay. Yeah, you might remember that there were 3 episodes. The first was looking at the differences between human intelligence and artificial intelligence. And I spoke to my dear friend, Dr. Patrick Bangert, who's got a kind of fancy job as Vice President for Artificial Intelligence for the Samsung Corporation. So he explained all this, this quite difficult stuff and made it fairly simple. At least I understood some of it. And I wrote an article afterwards. I think there were 20 learnings from the conversation. I'm going to pick a couple of them that I liked. The first one was Terminator is not real. And this was actually a real question we got. Some people were worried that artificial intelligence is going to become self-aware and evil and take over the world and kill us all. So this is fiction, which was a relief to us all. And also Terminator 2 is also not real. Artificial intelligence is dumber than an earthworm when it comes to understanding similarities between things or anything that requires intuition or creativity or emotions or knowing that you exist. So we've still got something to offer, right? Robots can't think of anything new or feel love because of number 7. So sad, poor robots. Robots don't care about the fact that they can't feel emotion or know that they exist because they don't know that they exist and they don't have any emotions. Assuming we solve the wealth disparity being caused or increased by artificial intelligence and automation, we'll have lots more free time because most work will be done by intelligent machines. So remember we're talking about looking at the future here. Because of this, we will need to deliberately seek purposeful and fulfilling ways to spend our increased leisure time. And because of that, we should work on developing our intuition through practices like meditation so that we get better at doing the things artificial intelligence can't do, so that we remain relevant and become more self-aware, creative, happy, and fulfilled. The next person with a big brain whom I spoke to, it's hard talking to these people, you know. Okay, I'll just turn my audio up. Wait on a second. Is that better? Hope so. If it's not, let me know.
Yes, that's working. And please do remember to leave pauses for the translators.
Thank you. I will try and do that. The second large-brained person I spoke to, Sohail Inayatullah. He's the UNESCO Chair for Future Studies and works with large organizations, global organizations and governments, advising them and helping them to navigate their path to the future. And that was a really enlightening conversation for me, at least. And he spoke about the progressive utilization theory, which is part of Anandamaga philosophy. It's the social theory, and how it creates a blueprint or a roadmap, you could say, to universal prosperity. It focuses on people, or prioritizes people, planet, and greater purpose or higher purpose. I thought this was a beautiful way of summarizing in very simple terms the vision of the progressive utilization theory. I'd never heard that before. A famous quote from Sohail: "To change the future, we must be able to imagine a different future," which is kind of empowering. It means we can actually create this if we start thinking in the right way. And I didn't interview Kai-Fu Lee. He's like really famous, and I don't know anyone who knows him. But I watched several of his interviews, and we listened to excerpts. And he's a global leader in the artificial intelligence revolution. He works both in China and in Silicon Valley. He's from Taiwan originally. And he had a lot to say actually about being human and the importance of love and family and caring about people, so that we don't get swallowed up by this automated kind of world. And he identified a number of very important human skills that will become more important in the future. So amongst them were creativity, strategy or strategic thinking, conceptual thinking, growth mindset, inferencing. It means understanding things that are implied but not explicit. This is something machine intelligence is really bad at. We're good at it. Agility means mental agility. So it means we can adapt much more easily. Understanding context. Compassion. Empathy. Human connection. Collaboration. Trust building. And conflict resolution. Conflict resolution was the one skill that was identified by Sohail Inayatullah, the second person I interviewed, the futurist expert. That was the one skill that he identified as the single most important human skill for the future. Being able to resolve human conflict. Because technology gives us more and more power. Now that is both creative power, the potential to create, and the potential to destroy. So conflict resolution between humans becomes ever more critical. We looked at what's happening now. Capitalism plus technology increases wealth disparity. That's happening very fast. Proud or economic democracy plus technology leads to greater wealth for all and more time for all. My fourth interview, of course, was with Albert Einstein. And he said the only valuable thing is intuition. And that's the subject of today. Just to give you an idea of how tricky intuition can be to understand, I wonder if I should rely more on my intuition to make decisions. You mean guessing? No, guessing is totally different from intuition, because these things make sense in my head. Is there room in there for all of that intuition? So we're going to be talking about intuitional science, which is another way of describing the great spiritual tradition of meditation and yoga. So that is the end of that bit. Now, we are going to have some questions for you, Dada Rainjitananda. The ball is in your court.
Okay. Namaskar. We will be using the Mentimeter. So you have the link there in your chat. And this part will be asking you questions, okay? You will have time to ask us questions, or you can also go on asking questions during the presentation in the chat, but now we will ask you some questions. So if you go to the link in the Mentimeter, you will see this first question will be there. And it's what qualities do you think that you will need in the future? So what qualities will we, human beings, need in the future? This is a word cloud, so you enter just like one or two words. One word is better, it will show well. And the ones that more people enter, if you enter the same, they become bigger. The font grows as more people enter the same one.
Oh, cool. This is working.
Yeah, so we have, we are having the empathy and love as the main ones, Dada. Yeah, love, empathy, creativity are winning. Emotional intelligence is coming up strong. We will share this with all of you later on. Okay. Any comments on it, Dada?
I'm just a little fascinated. Yeah, I think this is all, what can I say? I think these responses are very intuitive.
Right. Okay, we do have another question, which is similar. So we got 21 of you answering, which is great. Thank you. And the next one, if you refresh or you go to the link again, you will see the next question. And that is, what mental and behavioral tendencies should we control for a brighter future? This is like what we should control in ourselves.
Right. Just a little context. You know, we humans are a mixture of potentially great qualities and potentially really negative. Okay, you got it. Yeah.
I think selfishness is coming very strong. That's a real important thing. We strive for selflessness. but sometimes selfishness comes on the way. And the thing is, sometimes we don't even notice. Okay, it seems selfishness, greed, violence, judgment. Judgment came twice. The only thing is maybe the spelling was different, so that's why it became 2. Hate is also there. Jealousy. Okay, we have 11 on this one. So let's wait a few more. We had 21 on the previous one. We can, if anybody's having difficulty, the link is again on the chat. You just click on it, you go there.
Can you translate the Spanish terms? There's a couple of...
Oh, okay. Ira. Ira means anger, the IRA. The other one, ganancia. Ganancia is also like a greed. Oh, and there is another one. Inveja and ciúmes is like a jealousy.
Great.
Okay, I think we are okay on this one, Dada.
Yeah, this is really, I haven't done this one before, and it's really, I'm finding it really useful. I'm going to use this again. Thank you, everybody, for your
We're getting some Vietnamese also.
Oh yeah, please.
Which is selfishness and hatred. I think this one means love. It didn't translate that way by Google, but I think that's what it means. And then envy.
Yeah, envy is, yeah. Okay.
Doki, I think, envy.
Oh, we are learning.
Yeah, you're becoming expert.
So
Getting more.
We will go now to the next one. We still have some things we want to ask you. I think the keyboard is going loud. Okay, now we are going to ask a little bit about you. And keep in mind that this is anonymous, so you can be frank. Okay, so what are your best 3 qualities? The best qualities that you have. Okay, Dad, I think your keyboard is loud.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So let's see what comes in your 3 best qualities. And again, to facilitate, I put the link in the chat. So it becomes easy to click on it and go there. Okay. Yeah, this is a different way. It's not the word cloud. So it will come in different squares. Okay, so the qualities are coming: loving, creative, and hardworking. Yeah, put them here. Okay, that was the first one. Empathy, compassion, selflessness, self-discipline. Maybe it comes this one, work ethic, willpower.
We have some coming in Vietnamese in the chat.
Okay, we have creativity, warmth, fairness, have patience, humanity, quietness, acceptance, critical thinking, open-mindedness, good in psychological mentoring, empathetic, adjusting, many great qualities. We have a treasure.
Yeah.
It's like opening a chest full of gems. Service
what?
mind.
This has me thinking, if this, I wish this was a typical sample of humanity.
We have devotion, universal love, and empathy. Considerate.
And from the translated, gratitude, honesty, and hard work.
And
Compassion,
also, yes,
loving
compassion,
people, and
loving
listening.
people, and listening.
Right.
And then we have loving nature, doing service, dedication towards my guru. Then we have assertive, creative, helping, empathy, listening, patience.
By the way, don't worry, we're not going to ask for your worst qualities.
Empathy, honesty, caring, and rationality, reason, logic. Okay. All right, we have the last on this series, I think. Is, let's go for that one. What are the 3 qualities that you would like to develop? I mean, those were the ones that you feel you have. So what are the 3 that you would like to develop? And I kept the link in the chat, so you just click there. If you have not done any of the answers, you can try this one. Click on the link. And we have they are coming now. Okay, so that's the first one. Creativity, okay, critical thinking, greater compassion for all. Devotion, discipline, selflessness. And we again come to selflessness, insight, empathy. We have the Vietnamese here. We can get the translation.
Patience, consistency,
Sociable, articulate creativity. Non-judgmental, short-tempered, indiscipline. Means you want to improve on those. Means to become more disciplined, to become more better temper, and become non-judgmental. Okay. Then the patience, the persistence, balance emotions. All right. Self-love, confidence, more awareness of challenges we are facing. Great. Discernment, creativity, discipline. Okay, we got discipline a few times. We got also creativity quite a few times. Selflessness, we got confidence, patience. This one here. Patience, persistence, balance emotions.
This Vietnamese phrase in the Menti is doing a lot of work.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. And this one is patience, discipline, capacity of self-knowledge. Okay.
And generosity.
Nice. Okay, Dad, I think.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Now we go to our conversation.
Yeah. Very good. So I'm very happy to have my very good friend Rainjitananda here, Dada Rainjitananda. So we're going to talk about intuition. And I mean, it's something between an interview and a conversation. So we have a few questions. And the first one I want to ask you, Rainjitananda, is Can you define intuition for us?
You know, it's sometimes difficult to define a word, but let's say intuition in general that we see on the dictionaries, it says like this, that is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. And when you hear these words, it doesn't clarify so much. So I will compare it to other words so that we can maybe put it in a better context. So just quickly, like when I'm reasoning or I'm thinking I should do like this, no, I should do like that, what's the best thing? This is the intellect. So I'm using the intellect, reasoning. But sometimes I also take decisions with my instinct, like I have some fearful thing and I decide something, you know, and I make a bad decision. That's more instinctive. So that's more to the body. So let's say instinctive, more to the body. Intellect in the surface of the mind, in the most superficial layers of the mind. And intuition a little bit deeper. It's like you get a bigger picture. You see the bigger picture quickly. So maybe I want to stop here and then we can continue and see.
So when I think about intuition, I mean, I just want to add to that. I think of it a bit like this. Well, one thing that happens is people often confuse emotion with intuition. And they're very different, actually. A lot of emotion is instinctive, not all of it. And emotion's a mixed bag, you could say. Intuition is more about clarity. So it's kind of like in a car, you have the engine, okay? And the engine provides the energy and the power. That's emotion. Emotion drives us. Sentiment drives us. The steering wheel is something we have conscious control over, to some degree, hopefully, if we're awake and not drunk. That's like the intellect. We can make decisions, we can choose what direction we want to go in. But the driver is your intuition. Okay, that's the one that actually knows. Another way of thinking of intuition, well, to me, the ultimate intuition is the knowledge that we exist. Knowing that we exist. There's no logic to that. We just know. And that's kind of the definition of intuition. You just know.
The other way I was thinking, Dada, because I think one of the important things of intuition is that it helps us to take decision. And sometimes people take decision like this. Oh, I have an intuition that I should do like this. And that is what you were telling a little bit about the emotion. It's like they emotionally feel they should do that. So I was thinking of like to give a picture. Let's say that we are in the middle of a battlefield. Let's remember those movies, Roman movies, you know, people with their swords and they are fighting and the enemies is coming like this. So when you are in the middle of that, you have to take immediate decisions that, okay, you have to protect yourself or you have to run this way or that way. So you have to be using your mind all the time. And that's the intellectual part. You are thinking, oh, I run that way, or I do this, or I do that. You are in the middle of the battle. When you can, let's say, see the battle from up is intuition. You see what's happening. Oh, the enemies are coming from this way. this is happening on that way. So you have a big picture, but that's only one layer of intuition. A deeper layer of intuition is that when you see the big picture, that bigger or higher layer helps you to decide what's the right thing to do. You know, because one thing is you understand quickly what is happening. The other is you know what's the right decision. So let's say that that's one layer deeper. And then there is the other one, which is what you were telling about.
Exactly. I think that's really a nice way of describing it. And, you know, in those of you who are familiar with Sanskrit, we're talking about the layers of the mind. These are the Atimanas, Vijnanamaya, and Hiranmaya koshas, which are the different levels of intuition that we can develop through intuitional science. So can you give a couple of examples of really key practices that maybe people haven't heard of or not everybody knows already that can help us to develop intuition?
Okay, so the classical one everybody heard is meditation, okay? But also there are different types of meditation. Some types of meditation are very much in the intellectual level. You are still keeping that intellect going. So those practices may be good for the mind, they may relax you and everything, but they might not directly develop intuition. Another thing is when we want to develop intuition, then all those, we were talking about all those things that come in our mind. For example, some people had said envy, jealousy, you know, it comes in your mind even during meditation or during your daily life, and it takes over you. It makes you do things you don't want. So there is a practice for that. Like suppose I have a lot of, have jealousy, or so let's say that I see that Dada Rainjitananda got a new Tesla, you know.
I wish.
Then I feel very jealous. Oh, Dada got a Tesla, and I only have a Toyota. So how can I fight or how can I remove such feeling? So that's a practice. You have to apply a different idea in the mind. For example, I say, oh, but Dada is my brother, it's my friend. So now I feel good because he is progressing, he's happy. So that makes me also feel happier. And so it counteracts that feeling. So in the same way, when other feelings come in our mind, we can find a different feeling that counteracts it. So that's a practice. And that practice clears the mind. So clears the mind, you can go to higher layers, intuition.
So if you, in other words, if you have a kind of negative feeling, like you gave the example, you know, towards somebody, you're jealous of my car, which I don't have, just in case you were wondering, you can take the opposite, cultivate the opposite of that, right? So we can do that in many ways. If we feel, oh, I feel I'm too selfish, we can be deliberately generous to counteract that. So that's as you said, it's also a practice. Mm. So we've talked about different types of intuition or different levels of intuition. Can you say something about the specific different meditative practices that are kind of designed to develop those different types of intuition?
Okay. You know, we have a system of Ashtanga yoga. It's a system of yoga that has like 8 parts or 8 limbs. And And they are very much connected to the mind. And we mentioned that the mind has a level that is more intellectual. And then it comes levels that are intuitional. So for the intuitional levels, one very important practice is to be able to withdraw the mind from the external world, from the external attraction. It's a practice. If we can do that, we are immediately working on the intuitional level. We are increasing creativity, we are increasing many of these qualities. Like if somebody is like a genius or a very good artist, they have the capacity to be so concentrated in their work that they don't even see what's going on outside. When they are creating, when they are, let's say, painting, they are making music, they are doing some activity that utilizes creativity. So if we just practice withdrawing, we develop that level. And but that's not like enough. If we practice techniques of concentration, then we develop a higher level of intuition. And that is what we call in Ashtanga Yoga dharana. And we can even go deeper to develop the third layer of intuition. And that practice is a deeper meditation of practice. Maybe you want to add something to that, Dada?
Well, this is my pet topic. You know, I've got a 9-hour program on this one, so I'll give you a 1-minute version. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The pratyahara, withdrawing the mind from the external world, is one of the keys to creative thinking, to increase our ability to imagination, and to come up with new ideas. And actually, people do this naturally. So typically, you know, the poet Walden, if he wanted to write his great poetry, he went and sat by the lake or pond for a year, famously. Often musicians or writers, they want to withdraw from the world. They'll go somewhere lonely so that they're not disturbed and they can go deep. And that's a natural way of going into that. But in meditation, we're doing that more deliberately, and it's more powerful. And I experienced that in my own writing, especially music. When I first started doing meditation, it dramatically changed my experience of writing music. It was like I'd turned on this invisible tap to creative ideas. It was amazing.
We have something on the chat, Dada.
Yeah, but we've got a Q&A. So we'll come back. Those look like really great questions. Thanks, Harry.
Okay.
But we'll come to those in the Q&A, which is after the breakout.
All right.
Cool. Oh, just to reinforce your point, though, creativity by itself doesn't necessarily take us in a good direction. So that's why it's really important to cultivate the higher levels of intuition, which bring us real wisdom and universal love. Without those, it can be very destructive, even self-destructive.
Yeah, we notice some artists or some people who are very intelligent, they start having difficulties.
Yeah. It's very common. And really these practices of dharana especially and dhyana, the sort of higher meditation practices, are extremely helpful for unstable creative personality types like me. Potentially. Yeah. I think it's time for our breakout, and we'll come back to your questions in the Q&A time, Harry. Thanks. So we're going to jump to the breakout rooms. You ready with that?
Yeah, in a moment. Okay.
Okay, we're going to ask you a question in the breakout, which we're going to ask you to actually fill in the menti during the breakout. Dada Rainjitananda will walk you through that. And it's
Okay.
about habits. So the question is, what are the 3 most important habits or practices to develop your best qualities? And we want your group to discuss this and come with a decision or an answer for it for the rest of us.
So we are going to create the rooms. Our host will create the rooms. We'll open the rooms and you can choose the rooms. So there's according to language. And Karun, you want to add on that?
So I'm currently creating 1 Spanish,
Oh,
2 Vietnamese, and 2 English rooms.
mhm.
You can choose your own room, although I'm offering suggestions to at least some of the people that I can recognize their language.
Okay, so when you reach to the room, you see who is there. It's good if you turn on your camera so you can see each other, introduce yourselves, and then you can talk about this. And if you have another device or even in your computer, you click on the link of the Menti that you will be able to see it in the chat. Then you can already fill up the answer of your group before coming to the main room. So from there itself, first you discuss and then you can click on the link and fill up your group answers. If you want to share more than one thing, I think you can also. All right, Karun, I think we are ready.
Okay, just one more comment. The rooms will be open for 15 minutes and then a 1-minute countdown.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going also to copy the question in the chat. Okay.
So those of you still in this main room, you should have an invitation to join one of the others. You can get there by clicking on a breakout room button. If you're on a phone, you may have to swipe to the right, I think, to see the button that says join. On a computer, you can go to down at the bottom of the screen. You might have to click 3 dots to get to a thing that says breakout rooms. And then you can pick the room you want. If there's no obvious place to say join, hover over a little number and then click on the number to join that room.
Okay, people are coming back.
Okay.
I have resumed the recording so I don't forget.
Oh, good.
Okay, we should all be coming back now.
Oh yeah, now just about everyone's here. Very good. So welcome back, everyone. And now we have a chance to share those great insights. And we're doing that in the chat here. Okay, well, this one's very neat. Sadhana, seva, and satsang. Now that's all Sanskrit, so which is another S. So we've got lots of alliteration happening here. I'll translate that for you. So sadhana means spiritual practice. So it includes meditation, yoga, the ethical system of that goes with that. It's a whole spiritual lifestyle. Seva means service, and satsang means spiritual company, or keeping spiritual company, which we're doing right now. So we're together in a spiritual event. So those 3 go together. Okay, here we have Rainjitananda. You need to translate this for me.
Okay, this one is follow yama and niyama, and not only by word, but implementing in their life. The next one is self-confidence. The next one is to open the mind, meditation, and subtle diet. I mean food, subtle
This
food.
this is cheating because they have 5, but it's okay. And we also have, so jama and niyama, those are the ethical principles which are the foundation of yoga lifestyle. or you could say principles for mental health also.
That, and then we have one more here. Sadhana for self-knowledge. Okay, sadhana is the spiritual practice, meditation, then positive thinking, and then kirtan, and then more repetition.
Also cheating.
Repetition to develop good habits, determination, and satsanga, the same as the previous one, spiritual company. So we have 3.
There should be a fourth one coming up.
One fourth one. So any group that didn't contribute yet, you can either put on the chat if you cannot put directly on the Mentimeter. I think one of the groups didn't yet put it there.
So satsang is an interesting word. It translates, so sangha means the community or society. Sat means truth. So it's a society or community of people who are seeking the truth.
Okay, it seems we are not getting the fourth one, Dada.
Okay, well, that's...
They still have chance to put it somewhere, either in the Mentimeter or in the chat.
Yeah.
We can... You had something more you wanted.
I think we're going to Q&A, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, Harry, we can go to your questions. You've been very patient. Oh, wait on a second. A message from Savode. Okay, yeah. From the so we have 3 more: meditation, service, and code of conduct, which is similar to the Jama Niyama concept.
Sorry for that. I will just put the answer here. And
okay, great.
Okay, there.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks everybody for helping to create our grand plan. And let's go to our Q&A. Do you want to jump out of that, out of the screen?
I will come out from this one.
Okay. So you can either, if you have any questions or observations you want to add, Harry, do you want to read yours out since they came from you? You need to unmute, right?
Just a minute. I have to give him permission. Okay, try again, Harry. You should be able to unmute now.
Yep.
Okay. It seems that instinct can be based on previous intellectual conclusions that could have been based on incorrect information, disinformation, faulty logic, irrationality, so many other things that would be erroneous, right? So,
well, I think the instincts are hardwired. So these are drives that come from our evolution, essentially. So I don't think they're based on the intellect. I think what happened, what you may be alluding to, is that we have, for example, we have a fear instinct. So when we evolved as in tribes or groups and then tribes, we maybe had a distrust of people from other groups unknown to us. So then the intellect comes in and starts adding something based on the instinct, and we develop, okay, these people are not like us, so we can't trust them, they're bad people. So that's where this sort of confusion comes. And it's not rational, but it's the intellect kind of coming in, trying to justify what we are driven to do, or instinctively. So the intellect is more fundamental. Logic comes on top, and we use it to justify a lot of stupid stuff often, which is one of the problems with intellectuality. Think about the law court. You've got 2 lawyers, and they may know that the person defending the criminal, they may know they're guilty, or they may know they're innocent, or the person prosecuting may know the other person's innocent, but they'll still try and prove they're guilty. So this is an example, of course, the misapplication of just intellect. It's without conscience, which comes from intuition.
Yeah. I think if the answer comes from real intuition, deeper intuition, then it avoids many mistakes. Because most of the mistakes are happening in the shallower or lower levels. But if we can go to the highest levels, then most of the time we'll take the right decision.
And then actually everything becomes simpler.
Yeah.
So when we talk about layers of intuition, then how do we know what layer we're accessing, how accurate it is? I think you may be saying that it's just accurate at all of those levels, just sometimes more accurate.
Okay, let's see. Sometimes we want to know to be sure, but let's say that as human beings, most of the time we will not be 100% sure, okay? So the idea would be that you develop, means do something to develop those levels and make your best effort when you take a decision to access those higher levels. But we are prone to not be 100% sure. So we always have also to keep in mind to see what other people are telling, and so that in our interaction, we don't assume that, oh, I'm in the highest level, I'm correct, they are wrong. So we should always avoid this attitude. So we should always look at what is also coming from the other side and always question our own decisions. Let's say we cannot assume that we are very developed intuitionally and we are taking the right decision.
Yeah, this is where the ego confuses us. Egotism, intellectual ego misleads us into thinking that, you know, I'm right, I always know what's right, so I don't listen to other people. We're cutting off a valuable source of information and making our decisions worse by doing that.
I guess I was concerned about when people may say that I'm doing this in the name of God. And so I think they're genuine in thinking that, you know, but objectively, maybe that's not always the most godlike thing to do.
There is such a thing as delusion, yes.
Well, I guess my third question was the Dunning-Kruger effect. If I remember it, it's kind of like the tendency to overestimate how accurate our opinions or our beliefs or our intuition might be. Maybe I'm not using the word intuition properly in that sentence.
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
The word intuition is often misused. And people sometimes use it to justify something which is basically just what they want to do. So it's easy to confuse intuition with desire, and they're not the same thing. Desire can be a desire that is consistent with intuition, but it can also be consistent with selfishness or just instinct or basically anything. So calling things intuition just because you feel like you want to do it is not going to help.
Yeah, because many times that feeling can be coming from an instinct or from like a tendency of the mind. Okay,
we got a neat question here, which is related from my tree. Could you call it a gut feeling? What do you think, Rainjitananda? This is what I'm not sure if I can answer this, so I'm going to give it to you.
Right. You see, gut feeling can come from different levels also, you know. It's like, it comes to you and you really feel that, but you may also not be accessing the higher layers. Some classical examples of use of intuition, in certain levels. For example, when Newton came up with the idea of gravity, he was in a relaxed state and he was not really thinking about it at that moment. He was not like reasoning about it, and the idea came to him. So it's an example of a creative thing or some genius, this mental discovery that came to him like that. So we can say that that's just like one level above the intellect. But a higher intuition, the one that really helps us to take the right decision in life, keeping in mind the goal of life, not like I made the right decision and I made a lot of money, not that kind, but the kind that takes you closer to a spiritual goal of life or a higher goal of life. So that is even a higher level than of intuition. So the gut feeling could be something that you just, oh, I should do like this. It sometimes could be something instinctive, sometimes something emotional. So it's not always like that. That's my take on it. Dad, I don't know, you want to add something to it?
I will briefly, though we're sort of supposed to go on in a second, but I'll just say quickly, one thing I try and do if I'm unsure whether my gut feeling is really intuition or not, I kind of run it through a filter of rationality. Because humans generally have well-developed rationality and not so well-developed intuition. But intuition is a more perfect tool, but we're not so good at it necessarily. So I try and use both, basically. Sort of common, okay, if I think if it feels right and it also makes sense, that can help to make a decision. I want to go to the next piece because we've run over time on questions, but that's a good sign. It means you're asking good questions. So we're going to have a little look at what we can do with our to sort of implement this, to prepare our minds for an increasingly unknowable future. How can we best prepare ourselves? And to do that, I'm going to show you a little picture. No, we're not ready yet. I got it under. No. Let me do it in the background.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to play with the background here. So we've had a lot of ideas, suggestions about practices, disciplines, and I loved when you were answering these earlier Menti questions about what good qualities everybody already has and which ones you want to develop. I was thinking, oh my God, if everybody was like this, we would have this kind of amazing, I won't say a perfect world, but it would be far closer to perfect than what we have now. So you might have noticed I'm actually just in the space station, the International Space Station, and I have this special microphone, and I'm looking down from the space station. I'm seeing we need to develop all these practices. Okay, so that's a big list. Okay, so twice daily meditation, mantra chanting, yoga exercises, improved diet, spiritual study, serving others, studying yoga philosophy, rising early, observing periods of silence, developing critical thinking, cultivating creativity. I can't read the next bit because my name's on top of it, but it's a lot.
Inspiring others.
Thank you. You came to my rescue. So these are all really important. And if we did all of these, it would definitely transform our lives. But it looks kind of hard. We have a solution. And this solution, all it requires is one step. And the one step is to enroll in this. So I just want to see if that really worked. Give me a second. Help, what happened? I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, there we go. There, that's what I was looking for. So next year, end of January, 22nd of January, we're launching this 3-month planetary leadership training program. It's called 99 Days to Transform Your World. And we use the term your world because it can be both your inner world and your outer world, the world around you, the world you live in externally, but also the world you live in internally. And it's based on meditation, yoga, and living with purpose. And I just want to hear from a couple of you who have been instrumental in developing and running PLT, because I know both of you experienced a big transformation by attending this kind of program. So I'd like to invite Krishna Prema, who does a lot of work in the background here, to tell us about her experience.
Thank you, Dada. Well, thank you, everyone. Yes, I am just new to my spiritual path right before COVID started and was introduced to PLT. And like Dada said, it's been life-changing. Being a part of this program, being a part of this community has been amazing. And I definitely feel like I've started working on, I would say 99% of that list, but it is a sometimes overwhelming list without the support. But with PLT and with the global community and everything like that, I feel like I have that support. And I feel like I am taking those steps to make this a better world and not only transform myself, but transform my community and beyond. And I am so excited that we're launching this program because I think it's a program that's going to be suitable for people that are already on their spiritual path, but very also complementary and suitable for people that have never embarked on it. Somebody like me, that how I was just 2 years ago. So I really hope to see all of you there. I'm really excited to be a part of it. And I thank you for this opportunity.
I want to say something about Krishna Prema, which is going to embarrass her, but she's remarkable. Krishna Prema attended the first 4 months, was it, of our PLT training last year, getting up. The program started at, was it 4 a.m. for you?
It was something like, it was 3:30, I think, but yes, 3:30, 4 o'clock, yes.
So for 4 months, she was attending PLT training last year at 3:30 a.m. because she lives in Hawaii. So she's in a different time zone. And Krishna Prema embodies discipline. She's an incredible athlete, has competed in the Olympics and has this incredible quality, together with humility, which is really unusual in high achievers. So thank you so much. And she's going to really maybe not be embarrassed I'm telling you that, but this is for real. The other person who's been absolutely instrumental in this is Ishita. And Ishita and Dada Rainjitananda, this program is their brainchild. So really they should speak about it. But Ishita, please jump in.
Namaskar.
There you are, Namaskar, in Brazil.
Yes, I'm in Brazil, so I make some notes to not forget what I want to share with all of you. So I usually say that my life story is divided into before and after PLT, because participating in PLT courses really literally transformed my world. So before PLT, I had already studied a little bit about meditation and yoga, but in a more superficial way. So at the PLT courses and events, I managed to go deepen my knowledge, and I really understand the importance of the daily practice. Participating every day, all events, I could understand that the daily practice is something very, very important. I'm still in the process of developing this disciplined routine. I'm not so disciplined as Krishna Prema, but I am in this process. But now I feel that I have a clear guide on how to do that. And also I feel much more motivated to do this. And in addition to all this learning, I developed my English a lot. So before PLT, I didn't speak English, and now I'm here talking to you. Of course, I'm not fluent yet, but I'm much more open to English, and it's not a barrier anymore. And in the interactions between students, during the classes, PLT classes, and also in the online platform by message, I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people from all countries and around the planet. And I can say that I made very good friends. Like I met very like-minded people. So I feel that I'm part of a family now, like a community, a global community. And in fact, something personal, during one PLT breakout rooms, one activity, I met Jai. Jai was a PLT student. He's American. He was in the United States, but we met in a breakout room, and we start talking. We go to the online platform and start to talk by message. And then now he's my husband. He came to Brazil and we are married and we are living here. So I met my husband and inside PLT in a PLT breakout room. And also, not only this, but also because of PLT, I had the opportunity to start working in projects in an international base, like international projects. And so I developed my career globally. So literally, PLT transformed my entire world, and in the last 1 year and a half. And I really want other people to have the same opportunities that I had to learn, have a very good knowledge, a quality knowledge, and also start developing their practice and also expand their minds to meet new people from other countries, make friends. I don't know if you are going to find your love, but I did, and I hope you can also do this. And so that's why we are preparing this new course with a lot of professionalism. We are doing our best to plan and give the best experience to our students. And we are doing this with a lot of professionalism, but also with a lot of love. So I am very excited. Thank you, and I hope to see you all next year. Namaskar.
Thanks to both of you. And Dada Rainjitananda, would you like to finish this piece? This was your idea.
Namaskar.
Okay, namaskar. Yeah, this course, what we want to do is like to help people really to implement the knowledge, because I've been teaching for many years. And what I see is that people have difficult to put it into practice. It's not that they don't know or they didn't hear about it or they didn't learn it, but the difficult part is how to implement it. So that is our focus. We'll do it in a very gradual way, because also I see people take big steps and then they have to go back and then they don't find a balance. So we will take small steps, but sure steps, and build up on that. And we will give you daily things, small doses, every day a little bit, and helping to get stronger. It's like a physical training. You do a little bit every day, your body is getting stronger and stronger in the same way with the mind. So that's the idea.
Fantastic. Thanks to all of you. I'm really glad I asked you to do this. I was kind of thinking, I want to attend this thing. That was beautiful. A lovely comment from Shubra in Vietnam. Thank you, Dada and the Dadas and the two sisters. I very much love this program. Great. That's what we love to hear, and that's why we do it. So I think we're about to finish. We're over time. So
Yep.
we're going to go straight to announcements. Thank you all so much. I think we're going to go over to Krishna Prema.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dadas, for a wonderful presentation, and thank you, Ashita. Your English was beautiful. So regarding announcements, we'll continue the conversation as always on our global platform. We actually have a course just for the future of intelligence, where we have the 3 other workshops. So if you missed any one of them or if you wanted just to review them, they're there. There's also some supplemental material there. So please check it out. And like we said, we'll be launching the new course, and where you can enroll will be on our global community platform. So we're very excited to be launching that. And besides that, I will be announcing the next workshop early this week for Sunday. And we hope to see you guys at Planetary Meditation on Saturday. And definitely we hope to see more of you guys in the community. And I believe Karun is going to launch a poll. And before we leave, I just want to say thank you to our translators. We really appreciate both of you being here today. And we look forward to the future. Thank you.
So do we have some kirtan at the end? Is that the plan?
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay. Baba Keva Baba Keva
Namaskar.
Namaskar, everyone.
Namaskar.
So please join us. Well, we've got next week
Namaskar.
satsang on Saturday and
Namaskar các Acharya
Namaskar.
và tất cả mọi người.
That was in Vietnamese. Very great.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.